In a quiet village nestled between green hills and flowing rivers, lived a young boy named Aman. Aman was curious, energetic, and clever, but he had one big problem. He gave up too easily. If his kite didn't fly on the first try, he tossed it aside. If a math problem didn't make sense right away, he shut the book. His parents would often say, "Aman, good things take time. Don't quit so soon." But Aman would just shrug and run off to something else. One summer, Aman's grandfather Dadaji came to live with them. Dadaji was old but full of stories. He wore a long white beard and spoke with the kind of calm voice that made even noisy kids like Aman stop and listen. One evening, as the orange sun dipped behind the hills, Dadaji called Aman over. "Come sit with me," he said, tapping the wooden bench outside. "I want to tell you a story about an ant and a mountain." Aman plopped down beside him, curious. Dadaji began. Long ago, in a faraway land, lived a tiny red ant named Joru. Joru was not like the other ants. While his friends were happy carrying crumbs and building anthills, Joru dreamed big. He looked at the tallest mountain in the land, Mount Vishal, and said, "One day, I'll climb it." The other ants laughed. "You? Climb Mount Vishal? You're no bigger than a grain of rice." But Joru didn't listen. He believed that if he kept trying step by tiny step, he could reach the top. So one bright morning, Joru set off. The grass was tall like trees, and a small pebble felt like a boulder. Still he crawled on, inch by inch, step by step. After hours of climbing, a strong wind blew him off a leaf. He tumbled down and landed far from where he started. Bruised but not broken, Joru shook himself and began again. "You're wasting your time," said a butterfly as it fluttered past. "Maybe," Joru replied, "but I won't stop." Day after day he climbed. Sometimes he got far, sometimes only a little. Sometimes he fell, but each time he got up and tried again. Weeks passed. Other insects began to notice. "Why do you keep going?" asked a grasshopper. "You'll never make it." "Because every step teaches me something," Joru said. "And every fall makes me stronger." One night a storm raged. Trees bent. Rain poured. Joru took shelter under a curled leaf. He thought of giving up. But he remembered something his grandmother once told him. Success is not in reaching the top quickly. It's in not giving up, even when the top feels far. When the storm passed, Joru began again. His legs ached. His body was tired, but his heart was strong. Then one morning as the sun rose, Joru reached a high ridge. The view took his breath away. Clouds floated below him. The wind was gentle. The world looked different. He had made it. And the mountain? It hadn't gotten smaller. Joru had grown stronger. Dadaji paused, watching Aman's eyes light up. "So, Aman," he said gently, "what do you think the story means?" Aman thought for a while. "That even if something is hard, we should keep trying?" Dadaji nodded. "Exactly. Life is like a mountain. Sometimes it's steep. Sometimes it rains. But if you take small steps every day, you'll get there." The next morning, Aman picked up his dusty kite. He hadn't flown it in weeks. He stood in the field and tried once. The kite wobbled and fell. He tried again. It flopped. He almost walked away. But then he remembered Joru the ant. One more try. Then another. And another. Finally, with a gust of wind and a tug of string, the kite soared into the sky. Aman shouted with joy. From the porch, Dadaji smiled. That summer Aman changed. He didn't give up when things were tough. He practiced his reading. He kept trying at cricket. And whenever he felt like quitting, he thought of a tiny ant with a big dream, and how every fall was just a step toward the top. Persistence is not about being the strongest or the smartest. It's about not giving up, even when the journey is hard. Like Joru the ant, every child can climb their own mountain, one small, determined step at a time.